Okay, so people have been asking me to look at the connection between EUNCHAE from lesserafim and NIKI from ENHYPEN. I didn't know they had a connection with one another, but honestly, I'm rooting for them. And what will you infer? But the energy was honestly very sweet and also kind of a little bit sad. Of course, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love. Okay, EUNCHAE will be on the left, NIKI will be on the right, and this is the energy in between. It's like walking away. On NIKI's side, it's like bird, and it's like walking away. EUNCHAE is the Ace of Swords. This is sometimes like not being able to express yourself or say what you want to say, and this is like almost like unrest or being what's the word? Restless. What you've lost? Okay. Okay. There's a lot happening right now. NIKI is the death card, but again, like if you notice, like his energy is moving away, and this card is walking away. Death is also like a rebirth or change. EUNCHAE showed up as the 5 of Cups, which again, her energy is facing away from him. And it's sort of like contemplating like what you've lost, or like it's almost like EUNCHAE's side, like I keep hearing like things I left unsaid. In the middle though is the 9 of Cups, the reverse position, which is a lack of fulfillment. In part, I think they actively try to avoid like dating rumors, or at least looking a certain way together. It's weird because I keep picturing like magnets, like they want to like click. Instead they have to like repel each other. The 9 of Cups makes me think that there might be like I want to, okay, like, I'm not gonna be certain or, like, set on this until we pull more cards, but, like, right off the bat, it kind of feels like both of them have feelings for each other. How, like, deep those feelings go or how romantic they are, I'm not sure. But it seems almost like, it's almost like kind of like Romeo and Juliet a little bit, where it's sort of, well, I mean, maybe that's too romantic for what's happening. But it's sort of like they couldn't be together is what I'm trying to get at. It seems like those two can't be together for some reason. It's like they both seem like, because this is like a lack of fulfillment, and almost like it's like a realization of like, oh, like we can't be together because of, for one reason or another, because they're idols, let's be real. Again, NIKI's walking away from her energy, and her energy is facing away from him. That's kind of interesting. The Lovers, oh no. Okay, so on NIKI's side, he got the Knight of Cups, which again, walking away from her energy. The Knight of Cups is the Knight of emotions. It's somebody who, sometimes it's like somebody who's up for an emotional challenge. It can also be somebody who's just a little bit more like emotionally aware or available. EUNCHAE showed up as the 7 of Cups. A lot of Cups energy too, and Cups is like emotions. She showed up as a 7, right? Yeah, the 7 of Cups in the reverse position, which is like coming to reality, like clarity. To be honest, it seems like they both had, and to a degree still have, but had feelings for each other. I think both of them knew that the other one had feelings for each other. They might have talked about it, I don't know. But it seems almost like it was sort of like, we can't be together. Like, and I think because they're idols, because it would be a field day, because they're both very busy, because they're still really young and it's hard to commit to people. For one reason, but it's like weird because it's like very emotionally mature, but the Lovers in the middle makes me think like this is like the separation of two people. And it's sort of like, literally all I keep hearing is we can't be together, but it's not in a sad, it's like, it's sad, but it's not like angry. It's very like, well, that's just how it is. Like we can't be together. Like it's very shruggy. It's odd, but it's almost like they keep a distance from one another, but it's not like, it's not animosity. Look, oh my god. Okay, now his energy is facing her energy is facing him. The 10 of Cups in the middle. Okay, so NIKI showed up. This is exciting. I'm excited. Okay, NIKI showed up as the 2 of Wands. This can sometimes talk about intimacy, it can talk about attraction, it can also talk about strategy, and it can also talk about having the world in your hands. In this case, it seems kind of like he is attracted to her. I feel like their companies are different. I really don't know a lot about B-Lift, or really Source Music to be honest, but both are under Hybe, and I think Hybe has a lot more of like a heavy-handedness than I think maybe some people realize, but it seems almost like EUNCHAE is a lot more on guard, I guess, about like having dating rumors, or maybe like being with him or talking to him or making things seem anyway or appear anyway to fans or staff members. So to be honest, I think both of them, they seem like they would, well, I can't say they'd be a good match, but I do think that their feelings for each other are equal. It's not like one likes the other more than the other one, you know what I mean? It's sort of like, oh, like he's cute, I like his personality, she's lovely, I think she's hot, like it's very that. The 10 of Cups is like happiness or merriment, especially at home, and you have the couples right here. For her, though, it's sort of like, she's like, I don't know, like, I would get in trouble with my company, like, it's very that. NIKI, I don't feel like cares. I feel like he would get in trouble, but it's like, what are they gonna do? It's kind of the vibe. I don't know if it's just like the different ways that like B-Lift and Source maybe have like punishments, quote unquote, for their idols or something like that. EUNCHAE is a lot more like anxious, I would say, or like scared. NIKI's sort of like, it's almost like the reason he doesn't want to is because he's like, well, I'm a professional, and like, what are you gonna do? It's sad though, because I feel like they would actually be a good pair. I think they're friends. I do think they're friends, but it's sort of like if you have a crush on your friend And let's say your friend has a crush on you, but it's sort of like, we don't want to ruin the friendship. But in this case, it's more like, we don't want to ruin our careers. It's very light though. I don't think it's like head over heels. I don't think it's very like overly like sexual. It's like they just have like really good chemistry with each other. I also feel like they talk, kind of. It's sort of like check-ins. I think it's like really both of them are like just very professional, I would say. But it's sort of like, hey, how are you? Oh, we're working on our comeback. They're also both very busy, I will say. That's pretty clear. They just don't really have like, I think, a lot of downtime to like really pursue that. I would say if you ask both of them, they'd be like, yeah, we're friends. If an idol could be honest about that. But it's sort of like both of them have feelings and both of them are aware of those feelings of the other one. I feel like Nikki would, how do I explain this? I feel like EUNCHAE, and this like makes complete sense to me. It's sort of like EUNCHAE's like, we can't do this, like absolutely not, like no. I also feel like in EUNCHAE's energy, she feels like she would be the one that would be more like quote unquote punished maybe, or like, and what I mean by that is with the public, like the public would attack her more than they would attack Nikki. I don't know if that's like true or not, because I guess like I don't really know a ton. I know more about lesserafim than I do about ENHYPEN. But I feel like Nikki's an it boy, right? Or like a lot of people like Nikki, or maybe not, I'm not sure. In some way or another, people have told me that Nikki's a very like, he's a more like popular member of ENHYPEN. And like EUNCHAE of course is like the baby of lesserafim, but lesserafim is pretty popular as a group. In either case, EUNCHAE feels like people would attack her more. It also like strongly, I feel like she's like, this will mess up my career like significantly. EUNCHAE is for sure very professional. She takes what she does very seriously. I also think she is somebody who has like a higher level of stress and carries stress, and so she's sort of like a lot more careful about her actions. Nikki kind of would be like, I'm ready to fight. Like if on Nikki's side, it's almost like if EUNCHAE like called him up and was like, hey, let's go public. I love you. I know you love me. Let's date. You'd be like, all right. Like, but EUNCHAE would not do this is the problem. But Nikki would be like, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to do this. Like, I think just because, not even because Nikki necessarily loves her like that, but Nikki just, I think, has sometimes an issue with like restrictions. And he's like, all right, like if you're in, I'm in. He'd be more willing to do that. But temperance is like unequalness. And if you notice, this cup is higher than this cup. And this is on Nikki's side. So it's sort of like he is like more gung-ho to actually like try to make it work than EUNCHAE is. But again, it's like EUNCHAE is just a lot more like quiet, I think, about her feelings. And very like, just like, we can't do it. I hope I'm conveying that correctly. Yeah, Nikki, I don't know if this is the best word to use, but on Nikki's side, it's like rebel is the word I keep hearing. Like he's very rebellious, or he has that spirit and that energy in him. I don't know if he acts on it because K-pop doesn't really love idols to be rebellious, you know what I mean? But it's sort of like he doesn't like hiding things. Not even necessarily like as if he was hiding a girlfriend, but he just doesn't like to hide parts of himself. I think this is something he's growing into as well, where it's sort of like, I don't think he just likes to have to hide his emotions or hide his feelings. And that's something that I think being a K-pop idol asks of you a lot. So it's sort of like, this seems like a quieter struggle within him rather than something that he's actually like doing. But like, I think especially as it relates to EUNCHAE, and again, it's not like these are like really strong at the forefront of their mind 24/7. It seems sort of like, because weren't they working together at one point? I'm not really sure. People just asked me to read on them, but it seems like if like Nikki and EUNCHAE were working together a lot, it would be at the forefront. But like it's sort of like out of sight, out of mind. Like it's never gonna happen. So it's like we might as well just like focus on our careers or whatever's going on in our lives. But Nikki doesn't like that. It's sort of like idols have to hide things about themselves. EUNCHAE showed up as the Queen of Pentacles. And a lot of EUNCHAE's cards have been Pentacle-based cards. EUNCHAE's about her money. She's about being a professional. I think sometimes she puts her career over other aspects of her life. I think because EUNCHAE started in lesserafim when she was like 15, 14, really young, right? And prior to that was in like the idol K-pop training system. I'd imagine she's done this for most of her life. I don't know how old she is now, like 18, 17, I'm not sure. But she's been in this world for a long time, and I think because of that, it's almost like trained her to focus more on work, being a professional, getting money, more than it is on like having like a really expansive personal life. I think, or at the very least, she's struggling with balancing the two. The Queen of Wands in the middle makes me think there's somebody in the middle. This could be feminine energy, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman. It kind of feels like a woman. It also kind of feels like this is somebody more related to EUNCHAE. So it literally could be a member of lesserafim. It also could be a manager of either of them that's like female, or something like that. But it seems like one of them is like aware, maybe. And I don't know if it's like an awareness that like, you know, she like really like directly talked to him. She like, you have a crush on Nikki? But it's more maybe like an awareness of just watching them interact. And it's almost like this person is like watching over the two of them to almost ensure that nothing goes on. And I think it's out of protection more so than anything, because both of them are very young still, right? They're both like not even 20. I'm not sure, but they're both very young still. whoever this is, it's like, it's sort of somewhat maternal energy, but it's also kind of like you're a little bit maybe imposing or overstepping, but it's really to make sure that they don't mess up their careers. Because the other thing, it's like being an idol is a career, but it's also kind of just your life. So it's sort of like, it wouldn't just be people being mad at them as K-pop idols, but almost like personally attacking them, and it's like, I don't want you to have to go through that. It's nice. It does seem kind of like it might be someone in the living room. I'm not sure. Anyway, the Tower in the reverse position on EUNCHAE's side is the dodging of a bullet. On NIKI's side, it's the 10 of Swords. And in the middle is the 4 of Cups. Really, that's all I'm getting is like, we can't be together. But, I mean, if you're catching the vibe, if you like watch them together and there's chemistry, there's chemistry. I think they're aware of it. I do think they have small crushes on one another. I don't think they would ever get together. Or I shouldn't say ever, because energy can change at any time, you know? I think they'd be a good pair. I don't know if they are necessarily like soulmates or anything, but it would be like a cute moment for both of them if they got together. I mean, maybe flirting is the most that has ever happened. It doesn't seem like they've ever gone on dates or really talked that, you know, intimately or anything like that. But it's almost like you just catch the vibe. It's like, I know you have a crush on me and I have a crush on you. It's very like, I don't know. There's a lot of tension there. I like it. Okay. Well, good for them.